Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing? This is Conversate with Pamela, and I want you to all welcome. Grab your favorite evening beverage. Oh, look, let me grab my evening beverage. Oh, you see got a new photo from a young man here in Columbus, Ohio. Isn't that beautiful? So, grab your favorite evening beverage. I'm going to jump in here and send out our invite for our guests. Oh, I can't wait. So, just a moment. Hello, everybody. Thank you. I can't wait for you guys to see. Let me see here. Here she is. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, Autumn. Hello, Chanel. Thank you for joining. I cannot wait. I just now. Erica, are you on your phone or are you on your computer? The Facebook Live. Hello, Sheila. My drink tonight. Ooh, pomegranate cherry juice. That sounds good. Is it good? Sounds good. So those of you, until I get my guest on here, Erica, you need to sign. If you can get on to your the way Facebook Live works is you will need to be on your phone. Hello, Monica. But in the meantime, everybody, because I'm not able to invite you, Erica. Let's see. It sounds good. That does sound really good. Erica, yeah, Erica, I can't, excuse me. I see. Hello, Monica. Thank you for joining. I am not able to invite you in, Erica. If you could try to get on your phone. While I do that, I wanted to welcome everybody. This is Conversate with Pamela, and I am your host, Pamela Stone. And so as we do every Wednesday, we sit down and we talk about the struggles that we face on a daily basis, but we want to work on our purpose. But we have a hard time jumping over. Okay, that's good, Erica. No rush. We have a hard time. How do we work on our purpose? And so, to order make things better, than just for me to be educating you and speaking, I bring on some amazing, powerful women. That you will actually get to meet another amazing, powerful woman as she gets on here. And you'll hear how she, too, has overcome her daily obstacles, but still living into her purpose. And so I want to welcome everybody. My name is Pam Stone. And as you may know or may not know, what we do is we always talk about our favorite evening beverage. So I'll let you know what I'm drinking later on in the show. As well as it is Conversate with Pamela on Wednesdays, it is also Win Wednesday. Oh my goodness, now. Everyone's like, Win Wednesday? Yes, Win Wednesday. And what that is we celebrate your wins. So I know we all have them. May they be small, may they be large. May you even miss your win for the week. But drop it in the feed below, so we can celebrate you. We all about celebrating you. So we had a lot of wins last week. So I would love to hear everybody's wins for this week. Hello, Stephanie. Thank you for joining. I would love to hear your wins for this week, and I would love to shout you out. As well as we will post them all over so everyone can know your wins for the week. And even if you've missed your win and you're needing some help, let us know. Here at Conversate with Pamela, we are creating a safe haven or a safe tribe, so where you can come in and you can speak or you can vent or tell us whatever it is, and there's no judgment. So if you need some help on how to overcome your obstacle of working onto your purpose, let's see. Hold on, Erica. Here we go. you have any questions or if there's any topic that you would like for to address, we would love to address it here. Not only do we do a conversation,
Hi.
Pamela.
Hey, hey.
Hey,
What's going on, Mama? How are you?
not much. Welcome.
All right, so I'm trying to get my phone, my stand to work. Let's see if we can make this happen. We might not be able to use the stand tonight, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So,
Sounds good.
all right. So, yay, we're here.
Feedback. Hold on here. I have feedback in the background. Let me see. Let's see if that worked. If not, I may have to go get some headphones.
There you are. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Yay. How is it going tonight, everybody?
Yay. It is amazing. We have a lot of feedback here.
Can you hear me better now?
Hold on here, everybody. A lot of static.
Let's do this. Okay, is that better?
Let me see. No, I still hear static.
Okay.
Feedback is I hear me. It's me talking in the feedback background.
I don't even hear that, which is so strange.
Really?
That is strange. Sorry.
That is crazy. Let me go get my headphones to see if that'll help.
All right, cool. So how is everybody doing tonight? I am your guest tonight. I guess while we're waiting for Pamela to come back, I would love to see what's happening in everybody's world. What do you want to talk about tonight? Pamela and I have been friends for a long time, but it's been a very long time since her and I have had a convo. So I'm very excited to be doing this tonight with her. So as you are popping on, feel free to drop your questions in the comment section. I'm kind of overtaking your show, Pamela, to kind of fill in the gap. My little like dance. I can't really dance in the frame. I can't even dance even right now. Let's be real.
Let me see.
Is that better?
I still kind of, sort of.
Oh, weird.
That is so odd.
Well, can anybody?
We'll just keep going. Can anybody else hear the feedback, or is it just me? Hello, Tina. Thank you for joining. Okay, if you have any static or if you hear anything, let me know. Well, first of all, thank you, Erica, for joining. Yay!
I'm so excited to have a conversation tonight.
Finally, we get to do. I know it's been a long time.
I know. We gotta not make such a long time anymore between chatting. So.
Absolutely. Okay, everybody hears it.
Okay, so let me do this. I'm gonna hop off and then hop back on. So everybody just stay put. But I'm gonna hop off because that's what's tripping everybody out. So let me hop off and then I'll hop back on. Okay? Hang tight, everybody.
No problem. To come back on, I want to thank everybody for joining. Again, I know this is Conversate with Pamela. Those of you who are new to Conversate with Pamela, we always talk about the wins for the week. It's only with you, Pam. I know, and I don't understand how it is with me. I don't know if I need to go outside. I don't know if I need to move to another room. Hello. Yes, now it's fine because she's gone off. I may have to go someplace else. We'll see when she joins us. We'll see what happens. But thank you, Tina, for joining. So everybody, those who who is new to the show, we are all about your wins. So I would love to hear your wins for the week. Not only do we celebrate the wins, I also need to go ahead and do the shout out. As you can see, there's a young man here in Columbus, Ohio. He drew the picture for me. Isn't that amazing? He's still in high school. So proud and so pumped for him. So not only that, I would like to give to sponsors. We have two sponsors for this evening show. One is At the Table. At the Table is a nonprofit. Let's see, we're going to bring Erica back on. We will, At the Table is a nonprofit organization. And actually, we are having a fashion show on June 22nd. Let's see if this works.
Okay, am I back? Okay,
Yes,
cool.
it worked.
Yay! Awesome,
Perfect.
awesome, awesome.
Yay.
I've got my headsets in
Thank you for
too, so it's all good.
Yeah, so I was like, everything has to work here.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right.
So I will, uh, before we go into doing some amazing, have an amazing Erica talk, I really want to let everyone know tonight's show we have two sponsors. The first one is by At the Table. At the Table is a nonprofit organization located here in Columbus, Ohio. They are having a fashion show on June the 22nd. And it is a woman empowerment luncheon. And we are celebrating women who has had cancer or who has had cancer. And so it's really exciting that they're going through a fashion show. So if anyone is interested in a ticket, I am selling tickets. So please let me know. Then the second sponsor for tonight is Mary Kay. As you know, if we feel good on the inside, our outside will shine as big as bright. So I will drop the links below for that. So without further ado, I have the amazing Erica Castner. It's been so long since we got to chat.
I
And so
know.
I brought her on so I want everybody to know that there's so many powerful women out here that are rocking their purpose, but yet they face daily obstacles as we do. And so I want everyone to know, instead of hearing me always talk about and having me doing all the talking, I'm bringing on women so you can hear how they do it. So I hope you have your pen, your paper, and if you have any questions for us, drop them in the feed below and we'll definitely address them. So without further ado, Miss Erica, thank you for
Yeah,
joining
Pamela,
us this
I'm so
evening.
excited to be here. Thank you so much. And I'm so glad technology is working for us and it's on our side.
Exactly.
So I'm
So true,
coming from
so true.
Florida. I'm actually coming from my living room. I look a little bright tonight, but yeah, I mean it's fun, it's festive. So I have the house to myself, me and my dog, because my husband's out of town. So it's just us women. Let's rock it. Let's do it.
Woohoo! Absolutely. So, Erica, before we get into doing some conversating with each other, tell the listeners or followers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so thank you. So, as you alluded to, I am a woman definitely on purpose. I left my job 4 years ago to launch my initial moniker was called Queen of Results. Now, today, it's just affectionately known as Castner Consulting. But I basically help businesses and companies, organizations keep their clients and their employees happy. And so with that said, I love, love, love being able to interact with people, have conversations with people, understand their points of struggle and figure out a way to fill that pain. So they're not struggling with that anymore. And in the short amount of time that I've been in business, it's been very awesome to see the growth. We actually impact businesses in 23 countries as of today, which is really impactful, but it hasn't always been like that. I'm sure we're going to get into the story, or some stories of where, things
Yeah.
have, I've dropped the ball in my own world, and not because I've like intended to, it's just because life happens. And, business
Hmm.
isn't always all rainbows and sunshine. We can have like the best laid intentions, but when life happens, unexpected changes come into play. It's like it can leave us deflated, it can leave us frustrated. And so I'm hoping we'll dig a little bit deeper into some of those stories today, because although I've only been in business for 4 years, I have been in the team development, business development space for over 2 decades. I know I've been doing this since I was 5. Just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I love what I do. I'm very passionate about what I do. I feel like I am in my purpose. There's even been some stuff that's gone on in 2019. Again, I'm sure we'll dive deep into some of that stuff tonight, but
Absolutely.
yeah, I mean, it's all awesome and I love it. But juggling the obstacles, I'm sure we're going to be able to dive into that tonight. And I'm excited that we'll be able to shed some light on some of that stuff to keep it real.
Absolutely. And I'm glad because hello, Shauna. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad you're here so we can keep it real so everyone, women know, not even women, men as well know that it's possible to go after your
Yeah.
purpose. You have to have the right mindset, which we're going to talk a little bit about, as well as you have to have that drive. And it's not peaches and creams for sure. You do have to have that strong backbone of it.
Yeah.
So, Erica, let's jump into it. So, first of all, you have worked into the corporate world. And so, how hard was it for you to leave the corporate world to go into entrepreneurship? And what did you do to prepare yourself for
Yeah,
that?
it's so funny because when I launched my company in 2015, a lot of people that didn't know so much of my history. Let me back it up for just a second. So I have lived in my immediate area in the Southwest Florida market for 14 years, but most of my life was spent in the Midwest. And I lived in Illinois. Pamela, you know that we're Midwestern girls, so I think that's why
That's
we
right.
relate and really connect because I mean once you're a Midwest girl, you're always a Midwest girl, right? No matter where you
Always,
live. And
absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
I'd always had this service element to just to my fiber. And when I was really, I would say in 2013, I had a pivotal shift in my world. I had gotten married. It was one of those moments in my life where it seemed like the rainbows and sunshine were like just flowing. And actually, 6 months into my brand new marriage, life was kind of falling apart behind the scenes. And so I had to have a really come to Jesus moment with my own, how was I going to show up personally, professionally, relationship wise, faith based wise, like what were all those things? And I did a lot of work. I actually invested in working with a coach back in 2013 to kind of get some of that stuff figured out. So flash forward about a year and a half later, I was really not feeling like I was living on my purpose. I mean, I was doing this really good thing and working that job in the community, and I loved what I did, but I just felt like I needed to do it on a bigger level. And I just felt like where I was at, I was playing small. And so like I said, it took me about a year and a half to really get a good game plan down. Prayed a lot, worked with my family, my new family, really. As I was going through these personal challenges, I was like, oh, now that I'm getting my sass and my confidence back, I feel like I could start my own company. I could do this really cool thing to drive impact. So it was a lot of planning. Number one, it was, working with a professional coach to really get out of my headset, because what sounded good in my mind and what sounded good in my
Mm-hmm.
family, sometimes you have to have that person that is at least 5, 10, 15, 20 years ahead of you to say, hey, baby
Exactly.
girl, wait just a second. Let's take a step back and let's evaluate how this really plays out. And so I was so grateful to have that experience in my world because it really helped shape. So number one, you've got to have the
Mm-hmm.
right plan. Number two, I feel like when I left and made that transition, unfortunately, I was in a position in my job to where my company was like, oh, you don't have to scooch out of here so fast. Let's help. We understand that you want to go do this,
Mm-hmm.
but can you help us train your successor? And so they were very supportive through that process. But there was also this sense that I had to separate myself from that job because it was so integrated into the community to
Mm-hmm.
pull myself into this new role. So there was a lot of shifting, but again, a lot of planning, a lot of getting the right people on board with stuff, and then that mental preparation that I had to go through in order to keep myself abreast of what was really the priority and what was just like a shiny object. So so that was like the shift, and that was back in, like I said, it was 2013 to 2015. It's a short time. In hindsight, that was a short time, but for a lot of people, they look at that and be like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
that was a 2-year transition. Yeah, but it was a 2 year transition that needed to happen in order for me to shift properly.
I understand. So true. And those women, I know there are women out there who are like, well, she had the preparation. She was able to have an organization that was behind her leaving. Some don't women don't have
Mm-hmm.
that. And so again though, I want to emphasize the best way to be ready for that, be prepared, have a
Yeah.
plan. And right now, if you're working in an organization that you knowing that you're going to transition into entrepreneurship, use some of the services. Use it while you're there. I tell my clients that all the time. If they have any an education system for you, use
Mm-hmm.
it. Use it to your benefit. So then when you get ready to leave, you at least now you have something to help you boost you up. So always be prepared, have a plan, and then your mindset. So we talked about mindset a little bit. So what's some of the things you have to do to get your mindset ready for that, to move to the entrepreneurship world?
Yeah, so I think let me equate it to like where I started personally because I think that and you know this, Pamela, because you and I have had conversations about this. Like, I don't care what tactical system y'all learn. I mean, you might know
Mm-hmm.
everything that there is to know about blogging, Facebook ads, emails, videos, like whatever. But if you ain't got it up here, and if you're not
Exactly.
connecting it here, like here, the tactical aspect of implementing and using your hands ain't gonna work. So one of the
Right.
things that I really had to like understand in that process before I could even get around my arms around like knowing that I was gonna leave my job and then go do my own thing was my own belief in myself and my ability to go out there
Mm-hmm.
and make an impact. And so one of the things that I did, and this is, I don't work with this coach today, I work with different coaches today, but my first initial coach, one of the things that we really worked on was, what was I doing to set my day up for success? So for you all
Mm-hmm.
that are thinking about like, okay, especially if you're moms and you're busy and you've got 27 things going on at any given time in your day, like, are you taking the time at the very beginning of your day to set intentions? And I'm not talking like a laundry list of intentions. I'm talking about
Mm-hmm.
like, are you going to have conversations with people that are going to help you move the needle in your business, your personal life, your faith, your relationships, like that? But set one, like, don't set 27 intentions, set one intention for the day, but like, don't just like store it up in here or don't carry it here, write it down. So that was like the
Mm-hmm.
first thing. And that's something that I've been doing. Like, that was 6 years ago when I started working with my first coach. That is something I've never given up. I mean, the moment I implemented that into my world, I set the intention to set intentions daily. so, so with that said, intentions also on that same piece of paper, write an expression of gratitude. I know this gets a
Mm-hmm.
little airy fairy for some people, but honestly, like it's real easy. It's super easy to be grateful when things are like joyous and things are amazing. But when you are not, when you're not like in that place, it
Right.
you gotta find some like form of gratitude. So write it down.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, like for me personally, sometimes it's just like I'm grateful for my husband's patience. Like
Right.
I mean, like it could be something as simple as that, right? And then
Right.
identifying, and this is the final part of this exercise, writing down the 2 action steps that you're going to take to accomplish whatever it is that you set to intend. Because like honestly, if you can follow through on those 2 action steps, and again, this isn't a laundry list of things that you've got to do, but it's
Right.
helping you create the intention and the mindset that you're after your goals. And so when you can put it down on paper and you
Right.
can see it and you can do it, that is one mindset exercise that's going to get you in the flow and the energy of having a rocking day. And even if things fall apart,
That is,
you've got that one
you
thing. Yeah,
still
you've
have,
got that one thing that you've done.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so with the going back to the
Yeah.
gratitude, writing down what you're grateful for. Actually, Steve Harvey just talked about it on one of his shows. He writes down every day on a piece of paper what he's
Mm-hmm.
grateful for. Every day. So anybody that thinks that you shouldn't do it and that this is something that is crazy doing, no.
Mm-hmm.
I do it
Yeah.
every day too. Every day I write down my great what I'm grateful for.
Yeah. And
Absolutely.
one other thing I want to touch on, Pamela, because I feel like you're going to jump in and add something else and ask a question. But the other thing here is to make sure that you are ending your day with understanding how you showed up for that day. So it's not about
Exactly.
like saying where you flop, like dropped the ball or where you sucked, because like that's easy for all of us to do. Like we could all
Mm-hmm.
like go through our like recap our day and be like, oh, that was a loss. We didn't get that client. We didn't follow through
Right.
on that one area. We dropped the ball on something. No, no, no. Like if you can go through and say, you know, where did I succeed? Where, like,
Mm-hmm.
it could even be that you actually took a lunch break when you typically don't. And that could be like a big win.
Right.
So, like, taking the time at the end of your day to acknowledge your successes, and you're going to feel so much more uplifted when you lay your head at night down on that pillow, because you are like, oh, dang, I'm a badass. You know, like you're gonna feel more connected with
Absolutely.
that. And it's a struggle sometimes
Absolutely.
if you're not doing that. But when you do get into that habit, it's amazing.
It is. So true. So that is the reason why everyone we talk about here on Conversate Pamela, tell us your wins.
Mm-hmm.
Because the celebrating your wins, oh my goodness. Once you celebrate it and you see everybody else celebrating it, it takes you to another level. So those of you that are on here, please drop down your feet, and Erica and I later in the show will tell you what our wins are for the week, but we want to hear what your wins are. So drop them in the feed below. So with that, Erica, so say for instance there is a woman out there that's teetering on going to working for a purpose, working in the corporate world, but she's scared because of the 3F's, fear, fault, and failure. What is something what advice would you give her?
Girl, do we have all night? We have all night, right?
I know, right? Exactly.
We have until at least midnight. No, no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Exactly. Till
All
midnight.
right. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, like, well, here's what's interesting. So I always default to the pros and like a good old fashioned pros and cons list. So for a lot of us in making major decisions for our lives, we as women, and I'm going to generalize this for a hot minute, we will emotionally default to what feels good. And I
Mm-hmm.
have to caution everybody that's watching this tonight to stop defaulting to what feels good. Start putting some common sense and beyond, like down on paper and saying, okay, like, is this decision going to affect me financially, relationship wise, energy wise, time wise? Like, weigh out the pros and cons. So if you're going to say, look, does it mean that I stay in my job? What are the pros? What are the challenges with staying in your job for an extra year or two until you can get some savings to go out there and do your thing? If it means like like I jumped, like, although I had a plan, like in a lot of ways, I felt like I jumped headfirst into the opportunity to start my business, because
Mm-hmm.
even though I still had like, okay, made the decision, and I want to say like really made that decision like 6 months before I quit my job. Like I had teetered for a year. And then
Mm-hmm.
I finally was like, like I went to this professional workshop in like Georgia, and I was like, I was breaking arrows, I was bending steel, I was like, I was on that high, and I'm like, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna do this thing. And so like I made that decision in 6 months, and I did. I made that decision 6 months later to quit my job. So I still had to, with my family, weigh out the pros and cons. Like if we decided that we were going to make that decision, what was going to be the aftermath? Like if it all fell apart,
Mm-hmm.
like what was the risk involved with all that? So for a lot of you out there, and again, I don't want to generalize this, but I mean, you know, like I've been there. I mean, I have emotionally been like,
Mm-hmm.
I'll feel this, I'm gonna do it, and then it fell apart. Time to weigh out the pros and cons. So it's very simply, if you're teetering either way, and for a lot of you out there, like I have to say that for, um, you know, there's a lot of like at the time when I was making that decision to quit my job, um,
Mm-hmm.
I still had kids at home. Like now I don't. They're gone. You know, they're off to, one's actually graduated from college, and another one is getting ready to graduate from college this weekend. Sorry, from high school this weekend. Hello, I'm aging her 4 years.
Wow.
I know it's crazy. So I still had kids at home. Now they were older and it was a lot easier for me to navigate through that situation, but I still had to factor in, like, I still have to pick up kids. I have to do this. I have to do that. But I was willing to work extra hours. I was willing to work after 9 o'clock to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I was getting stuff done on my business. And I knew that was temporary. So for a lot of you who are like, I don't know if I can get it all done, just know that if you're planning strategically, you're probably going to work an extra, 4 or 5 hours a day, to work on your passion, on your side hustle. But if you're committed to it and you definitely want to quit your job at some point, that is what you're going to have to do until you can save up enough money to make it happen.
Absolutely. Any regrets? Do you have any
Oh, girl.
regrets?
I mean, I don't have any regrets. Would I have done things differently? Oh, yes. I mean, like there are things that in my first year of business that I invested in, that I spent a lot of time, money, and energy on, that I like, putting together like a fancy website. Like, yes, I feel like you need to have a
Mm-hmm.
website and you need to have a way to capture people's information. But like, I was bought into this whole concept that I needed to have like, I mean, if you pick any personal development guru out there, like who was like crushing it on there online right now, I was under the impression that I had to have that level of website. So I spent tens of thousands of dollars on a website up front that, like, honestly, I ditched. I ditched it like 6 months into my business. So that was 10, like, and I mean, it's over
Wow.
$10,000 and I threw in the trash. So like
Wow.
stuff like that, like it was a valuable lesson for me to learn. And it's my duty today to tell women who are like trying, and men too, who are like teetering on whether or
Mm-hmm.
not they need that stuff. I'm like, you don't need that. What you do need is having a landing page where you can capture people's
Right.
information. You need something hot to let people know that you are open for business, but you do not need that fancy stuff right away. Like, you don't even need a fancy lighting. Like, I'm 4 years into my business. You should see my like tricked out lighting system right now. It's not tricked out. I mean, it's like, so I'm still on some level kind of hacking it together, but like there are certain aspects that I
Mm-hmm.
don't. There are certain aspects that I spend a ton of time and energy and resources in because I know it's going to up level my business in a smart way. But other stuff like fancy
Right.
lighting systems, we can do that. Like I can do that another time. So yeah, so it's
Exactly.
just about
I'm with
prioritizing. Yeah,
you.
prioritizing
I'm so
what's
will.
truly important.
So true. Well, really quick, I want to jump on. I wanted to tell you, your husband Ed says
Oh,
hello.
hey. I can't even see the comments. So, hey, honey, how are you? He's out of town right now. So,
Well, we feel privileged that you are jumping in and you are listening to us and following. So thank
yes,
you very
thanks,
much.
honey.
Deidre, thank you. She says hi to us. Shauna says hello to us.
Hi.
We have a
Hi,
lot.
hi, hi.
Hello. Hi, everybody. So, yes. Um, so I'm hoping everybody has gotten their pen and paper because Erica has dropped so many, so many nuggets out here,
Thank you.
for how you can be, even though we all struggle with the juggling of all the jobs, our expectations. Maybe you're working in the corporate world, or maybe you're an entrepreneur, but we all have all juggling so much, as well as still working on our purpose. So, Erica, how do you start your day off? I know we talked a little bit, but what's the first thing you do when you're starting your day
Yeah,
off?
I mean, I talked earlier about my intention, gratitude, and action statement exercise. That
Mm-hmm.
is literally like the first thing I do, because it is so vital to how I start the rest of my day. I'll spend some time journaling as well. So once I get that
Mm-hmm.
out of the way, I will journal some of my random thoughts. I find that when I'm like that first hour of my day, I'm the most alert in my thoughts and
Yeah,
my
me too.
processes. So like a lot of my ideas that I have been sleeping on usually come out in the morning. So that is a good thing for me to do. And then, generally speaking, depending on like my day, so um, really the time of year is actually like what's
Mm-hmm.
interesting of how I like complete my morning, if you will, because I do a lot of I actually work with an organization called Dress for Success. I'm sure you're familiar with it, Pamela. I'm sure some of
Yes.
our viewers tonight are familiar with the
Yes.
organization, and so about like 4 times a year we actually do I facilitate one of their career development programs. So in addition to doing all the things that I do to keep our business clients that I work with keep their clients and their customers and their employees happy, I facilitate that program. So sometimes my morning is shifted a little bit with that program, but for the most part, come hell or high water, I am doing that daily written exercise where I'm getting very serious about my one intention, expressing gratitude and action, and then taking time. I don't like to necessarily plug into my devices. So for a lot of us out there who feel like
Yeah.
we have to be tethered to our devices, don't do it. I mean, even if you like feel like you need to rely on it because of your kid's schedule or your husband's schedule or or your partner's schedule, like whatever, like it's very distracting and it kind of pulls us away from what we've got to do. So, and I can certainly talk about other aspects of my day as
Absolutely.
well too, in terms of time blocking, if you want to get into that as well too.
I do it all. I do at night. I know what I'm getting ready to prepare myself for in the morning. And I lay my piece of paper out so I can write so I'm totally with you there. I do the the time blocking too. So my calendar is very colorful,
Yeah,
but it helps me stay on track.
yeah, exactly.
It helps me stay on track, but the time blocking is so essential, which we'll jump in and just give a little tidbit about that. But real quick, let us stop here. So all of those viewers that are out there watching us right now, drop in the feed below. What's your win for the week? We love to celebrate. As you heard Erica talked about earlier, she talks about where we celebrate ourselves. So we would love to celebrate you. So drop and tell us what your win is. We'll tell our wins in a little bit. As well as if you're new here at Conversate with Pamela, we always talk about our evening beverage,
Ooh.
which I believe we had someone had talked about they're drinking pomegranate cherry juice. That sounds so good. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know why, but that does sound
It
good.
does.
But drop it in the feed below. I know, right? Drop it in the feed below on what your evening beverage or what you're drinking right now. And then real quick, tonight's show is sponsored by, we have actually two sponsors. The first one is At the Table. It is a nonprofit organization that supports young women and young girls here in the Columbus area. One of the events that the At the Table is putting on June 22nd is a fashion show. Really excited about that. Fashion show. Monica's drinking water. You go, Monica. Figured you would be. Oh, your husband Ed says launching the fuel Phoenix this week and celebrating with the redemption ride with two cubes.
Of course he is.
Too funny. You are funny, Ed. We're gonna have to bring you on
That's
more often.
right.
You are
That's
really
right. You'll have to bring
good.
him on for a whole other show.
I know, right? I will. Tina says she's drinking a good, refreshing water. Well, I'm so happy. Thank you, everybody. I know everybody has their wins. Besides, Ed just told us to win. I would love to hear everybody else's win. So tonight's show, let me go back real quick. Tonight's sponsor is done by At the Table. They are having a fashion show. Mark your calendar for June 22nd. It is going to be where we're celebrating, actually it's a woman empowerment, but we're celebrating women who has cancer, who has had cancer. So we're going to have a fashion show and start and celebrate them. And then the second sponsor for tonight is Mary Kay. As you all know, if you feel good on the outside, you'll feel good on the inside and you can start working on your purpose. So, Erica, real quick, as we wait for everybody else's wins for the week, I know Monica, you have a win, and I know Tina, you have a win. Who else is on here? We have a lot of people. Susan said
Hi,
hello, and
Susan.
Susan, we know you have a win. So, so, so Erica, what would be your advice to a woman that's wanting to get into being an entrepreneur but don't know where to start at?
Okay, well, so let me ask you this. So would it be somebody that knows what they want to do? Like they know what service or a product that they want?
Yes,
Okay.
they know what they. Yes.
Okay. So, like one of the biggest things that I could recommend is find, and this is going to be kind of a loaded question because, or not loaded question, but an interesting answer because I think I was lucky to have a coach that had 30 years of experience in helping with mindset and helping with counseling. I mean, like I didn't necessarily need the counseling, but he had a lot of insight in terms of really digging deep and making sure that there's a lot of coaches out there today that will be very tactical, and especially if you're starting a
Mm-hmm.
business, like you'll feel very lured to go to a business coach. And I feel like for a lot of people starting out who have never ever approached coaching, and Pamela, this is what I love about what you do, because you're all about diving into mindset. You're all about making sure that people are helping,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting the foundational principles to lay a good, solid layer of success and feeling grounded before they build upon that. And so I feel like the biggest piece of advice I could give to anybody that's just starting out is to align yourself with people that are at least 5 to 10 years ahead of where you want to be, and don't like just trust the first person that says, oh yeah, I got you. Like
Right.
don't be tripping
Mm-hmm.
on that. Like you need to go out there and interview people and be smart about this, and as well as your vendors. Like, so as you're like trying to figure out like, well, who is going to help me build my website, who is going to help me like do all the be my accountant, who is going to help me do all these things, like go out there and find 3 to 5 people that are doing like whatever it is that you need to like fill that position for or get that person on your team, and interview them. But I think first and foremost,
Absolutely.
make sure that you're aligning yourself with a certified mind coach, somebody that understands like
Mm-hmm.
the psychology behind like
Right.
why like you've got those gaps in and why you got those blind spots. But work with somebody that really like Pamela, like I said, I love what you do and how you support women in all those aspects. So trust somebody to guide you in that process. I wouldn't be where I'm at today if I didn't have that, because I knew I
Mm-hmm.
needed to clear a lot of my own limiting beliefs around like, can I do this, should I do this, like, I had a lot of limiting,
Right.
like from family members that were telling me that I was terrible. So like, and that wasn't like front and center because I was doing all these really kick-ass things in the community, but like I still had that
Mm-hmm.
messaging in the background saying, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that, why would you do that? That's a terrible idea. So find somebody that's going to help support you, but make sure that that person is at least 5 years, 10 years ahead of the juncture. And then the other piece of advice, make sure that you're like the people you're surrounding yourself with in terms of your vendors, your partners, your affiliates, like whatever, you interview many people in that before you land on a person that's going to help you on your team.
Oh my goodness, you're so right. You have hit it right on the head. Your first coach out the bat is the most important one
Mm-hmm.
because they help you shape your mind and help you get out the gate the right way. So I'm with Erica. You line yourself with the right coach, but don't get just any coach. I did that. I didn't get any coach, but the first person that was talking, I was attracted to them. And then, the next person I was attracted to them. So take some time. And that's where you have to
Yep.
start getting to know who you are. So let's back up here. Monica said, her win for the week, her teen speakers club finalized and starts in June. That's really cool. So
Yay.
actually she runs a speakers club. Actually, I'm part of her speakers club for us adults. So now her and her daughter is doing one. So that's going to be really neat, really nice to see a
Nice.
teen getting out here starting a speakers club. And Tina, whatever your win is, may it be professional, may it be personal. We would love to hear your win. I know we have them. Everybody, thank you for joining. I see Miss Mary. She's watching us. Thank you. Ron, thank you for joining us. So before we wrap this up real quick and get your pen and paper out because she's going to drop this real quick for you guys. Real quick, really, and it's more than just what we're going to say. How do you do calendar blocking?
Oh, well, okay. So one of the things that I must do on my calendar every day is make sure that I am in conversation with at least 5 to 10 people, period, the end. You cannot function as a business owner, business leader without conversing with people. So if you were constantly behind your computer screen and when I'm talking conversations, I'm talking like legitimate, like you are reaching out to people, you are not
Mm-hmm.
just conversing with them on Facebook or whatever your social media platform is, you are actually reaching out to them with the intention that you're going to have a deeper conversation with them. And you don't necessarily have to have that on like a coffee date or a lunch date. You can simply pick
Mm-hmm.
up the phone one of my goals is in terms of time blocking, everything else can be amok and fall apart. But the first thing, after like my morning routine and whatnot, because I start my morning pretty early, but after my morning routine, I make sure that I'm reaching out to 5 to 10 people a day. And sometimes more, depending on like the things I have. Like right
Mm-hmm.
now, I've got like a 21-day challenge that I'm launching
I
that's coming up
know.
around the bend. And so like I'm on the phone with people. I am like having more conversations because you need to. If you're launching something, like you have to be in conversations with people. But sometimes you're not always launching. So what do you do then? Well, you still have to have
Mm-hmm.
conversations with people, find out what their areas of focus are, how you can support them, how can you collaborate with them, but be intentional about reaching out and having conversations. If everything else falls apart on your day, like you make sure that you're reaching out to people. When you can check that off, you're good to go. The other thing, real quick, because I know we're running out of time here, but look at your day in terms of you don't have to do every task on your day to day every day.
Mm-hmm.
So take time, like Mondays are generally like my days. I don't see clients on Mondays, like I just don't. But
Right.
there are times, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, that's when I see my clients. But I'm also making sure that in the morning I'm doing things. I don't see clients until 11 o'clock. I'll see clients from 11 to 7 because I want to make sure that that the things that I have to do that are like not client related are being taken care of before that time. And if I'm seeing a client at 9 o'clock in the morning, it's going to interrupt my flow. So I got to make sure that I'm
Mm-hmm.
taking care of like the things that are going to help me work on my business before I can work in my business. And part of that is making sure I'm reaching out to people. If everything else, like I said, I could let an email fall through the cracks, but I got to make sure that I'm on top of having conversations with people for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, Erica, before we wrap it up, so what is your win for this week?
I have a lot of wins this week. So it's so interesting because I've been challenged by a mentor of mine to get more speaking opportunities, more podcast opportunities. And I have to say that since I put my head in the game with that challenge, I've gotten 8 opportunities, new opportunities to speak
Congratulations.
and to either speak on a stage or to be on a podcast. So that is my big win. And of course, I'm launching my new 21-day challenge coming up next week. So that's been fun to kind of be in the energy of that. So those are my two. It's actually I snuck in 2 wins.
That's okay. That's okay. And so my win for this week is actually I have challenged myself too to start getting out here and doing some more speaking events.
Nice.
So I've been actually I will be speaking at I have a little piece, but I will be speaking at the Women's Empowerment Luncheon that's going to be held by At the Table, which I'm so excited
Yay.
about. So
Congrats.
I am too. Thank you. So I too am out here getting to build up my speaking platform with the help of Monica's speaking club, which I'm really excited about. Tina says preparing to leave for training to teach to be a teacher. Nice, in a low income educational rural area. Ah,
Uh-oh.
uh-oh.
Just turn it around. There you
Sorry
go.
about that.
That's okay.
I educational area in a rural Appalachian with teach for she's going with AmeriCorps. I
Oh,
love
that's
that.
so cool. That's
Congratulations,
awesome.
Tina. She's an amazing. Actually, we went to school together, so I'm happy
Nice.
for her.
Good. Good, good, good.
Nicole said Nicole said best wishes to you, Tina, and Terry says congrats. So with that being said, before we close out the show, where can everybody find you at?
Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for asking that. So I think the easiest way to find me right now is just simply ericacastner.com. It's super easy. So it's my first and last name. So if you got that down, just put a .com at the end of that and you can find me there. And that's my brand new site. So we're launching some new resources around the corner. So come check me out there.
Absolutely. And join me with as I join her on the 21-day challenge. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah.
Well, this was really nice. I had fun. I want to do. We'll have to do this again. Come on, we have to have us another chat
Well,
about
we'll definitely have to
what's
have you
going
on
on.
my, like, so I'm actually getting one of the other little wins that I'm working on. It's not really an official win yet because it hasn't launched, but one of the things that we're doing is launching a new show. So Pamela, we'll have to get you onto that
Oh,
platform because I know we
well,
haven't
thank
quite
you.
locked down the name yet, but the topic itself, it'll fit right in with what you're doing. So we'll definitely have
Well,
to
thank
put you
you.
into my podcast or video chat, if you will,
Would love
roster.
to. Would love to. Would love to. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody for all of you out there. You guys are an amazing bunch of group of people out there, and go out here. No, it will. Terry had said, was this recorded? Actually, it'll be placed on the feed. Terry, it'll be on the Conversate with Pamela feed, so you'll be able to find it there. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. Let me give real quick before we close down. As you may know or may not know, another part of Conversate with Pamela or Declutter Your Life, I now do Talk to Me Thursday. So if you have any and it's just about a question and answer. So I have a lot of questions. So I will be addressing another question tomorrow. But if you join me on Declutter Your Life, and it will be live on the Facebook around 6:25. It's for 5 minutes. I did that. Everyone's like, "Why at 6:25?" Because then when it hits 6:30, I know it's over, and we can't talk any longer than 5 minutes to do it there. So if you have any questions that you would like to be addressed in the Declutter Your Life, just drop it in the feed below. If you don't want to drop it in the feed below, you can always email me. You can email me at declutter, the number two, then bboss at gmail.com. And yes, it's declutter to be boss. So you know what, everyone? This was great. Erica, I had a great time as always. Can't wait to be part of your challenge next week. And everybody, thank you for joining us. And as I always say, you guys are all a blessing. So be a blessing to somebody else. Have a good one, everyone. And thank
Thank
you.
you so much, Pamela.
Bye.
I really appreciate it. You're awesome. Take care.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks.
Bye, guys. Take
Bye.
care.